so, oh no, give me that sound. Oh, I gotta go like Cobain, 8 years to the grave, gone insane. My blood got propane, how you gon' go and throw my name with shame? Already cross-faded, making it to the disco, I hate it. And you know how this goes, you framed it, picture painted in my room. This that real life shit, none of Zoom, got the scene in it.
Make sure you subscribe to JerCrispy.
What's up, y'all? It shows the most that does the most. JerCrispy, welcome back to another video. Why everybody love Tecca? His music. He's good, and he's good in his own way, his own flow and all that. That's why everybody love Tecca. But let's see, we got the boy Doom Inoski or something like that with the video. Let's get it.
Dropping his breakthrough hit, Ransom, Lil Tecca wanted to literally quit music due to his second album performing very poorly, being framed as a one-hit wonder by his own fans, to just a couple years down the line, completely reviving his career and back to dropping Billboard topping hits, now being seen as one of the most consistent and underrated artists in recent times. So here is why everyone loves Lil Tecca. So let's bring it back to 2019 for a second, where Tecca was just 16 years old. Yet that didn't stop him from dropping one of the biggest hits of that year, Ransom. And I don't think I need to explain too much about this song, it would simply go on to become a viral smash hit, originally debuting on the 93rd position on the Billboard 100 and would eventually peak at the number 4 position, a weeks after gaining more momentum. And we can't talk about Ransom without of course mentioning the iconic Lyrical Lemonade music video that was released alongside it. I mean, at the time this was absolutely absurd. This random kid just got a top 5 Billboard entry whilst being completely independent. Now, as an artist, it's good to get your first breakthrough hit. However, it's as important to continue putting out hits so you don't become a one-hit wonder, which Lil Tecca would actually accomplish with his debut project, We Love You Tecca, released on the 30th of August in that year, just 4 days after his 17th birthday. This project would include one-hit songs such as Shots, Did It Again, Amigo, Love Me, and even the Juice WRLD remix of Ransom. Honestly, the whole album is full of hits, as even just going through it now, some of my favourite songs are some of the least streamed ones, Side Note and Bossa Nova. Straight bangers. The project would debut at the 4th spot on the Billboard 200 albums chart and sell an impressive 70,000 units in its first week. Outstanding debut numbers. Now, even with the project being liked and performing well,
I think my homeboy put me on to, well, my homeboy put my brother on to Lil Tecca. My twin brother put me on to Lil Tecca. Yeah. So, Lil Tecca was actually a good music. When I first listened to Do You Want Me? I Want You, Do You Want Me? I love you, want me? Do I? You know, that song. That's the first time I heard that song. And then I heard Ransom. Then I heard, what's it called? What's the Molly Girl or something like that? And then I heard all his other albums. One of the old albums talk about insecure. That's a you I adore. They get to me. You I adore.
Well, Tecca faced some criticism early on. Tecca won't be the artist you go for deep music or songs with insane production, and he seems to know his niche, making background trap music. At 17, he still has insane potential as an artist. Listening so far, there's no songs which will make me go insane, but they do serve as decent songs to save to the playlist / background stuff, which at first some of you may see as an insult to his music, calling it background music and in general not having much meaning. But really, this is probably one of Tecca's best attributes in keeping his career alive for the long term. If you have the perfect formula, why would you switch it up? So then let's move into 2019, a year and 1 month after the release of his debut album. Tecca would drop Virgo World.
Yeah, Virgo World was good.
G, Lil Durk, Lil Uzi Vert, and Nav. Well, unfortunately for him, this is where things got a little bit sour. The album wasn't perceived well, selling a poor 35,000 units in its first week and debuting at the number 10 spot. Basically
to me, that's not even that bad. But to other people, that look bad. But to me, that, like, if I, as an artist, if I make 35,000 copies, oh shit, that's good. People fuck with my music and shit. Like, 35,000 people fuck with my shit and all that shit. Like, I like, I genuinely love that shit. Would not be giving a fuck how many things I make. To be honest with you.
Half of his debut project, with Tecca himself on
Speaking of
Twitter
that,
being quite
where the fuck is Polo G? I been like I ain't never heard after he made that one song and that nigga dipped for a year. That nigga dipped for a whole fucking year. Where the fuck is Polo G at? Bro, Polo G, you need to come back down. Like, the fuck? Like, niggas got shots on this nigga or some shit? This nigga scared? That nigga in jail? It's out of three choices. You in jail? You ain't dropping. Or, like, you need to make an album called The Comeback. It's real, like, it's like you just must got the fame and just say fuck everybody else. Just I got the fame, I'm good. Nah, nigga.
overwhelmed by the hate. I hope I inspired some of the kids that were just like me with this project. That's all I wanted. If I disappointed you, I'm sorry. Thanks for supporting me, even if I let you down. With him later on even suggesting he's going to retire. I love y'all, but this won't be continuing as long as y'all thought. There's like 30 other rappers that sound just like me, you'll be good. It seemed like the pressure of being a rap superstar at 18 was getting to Tecca, but why? Well, firstly, fans are upset with the version of Dolly with Lil Uzi Vert that was released, as it was supposedly not as good as the leaked 2018 version, leaving them disappointed that after a long 2-year wait, they didn't get what they wanted. Bruh, we waited years for Dolly to come out and it's completely changed.
And that's y'all problem now. Y'all worrying about a nigga on Twitter, a nigga on Reddit, a nigga on the Instagram, niggas that tweet. That shit, I wouldn't be worrying. If I'm an artist, I would not be fucking worrying about what the fuck niggas got. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you still gonna watch my shit, right? You still gonna look, right? You still gonna give me the views? You still gonna get the like? You still gonna play it when you play the game? Or drive the car? So what's the problem? Take it right back. Shawty, see my eyes up, she off the Molly. What's right? Cardi. Yeah. I just had to stay low. Yeah, I remember my wrist.
Overall, the album just didn't contain the same hits his debut project did. It still had 2 big songs with Our Time and Out of Love. However, the majority of the songs didn't even break 8 million streams. And from what I can find, most people just didn't find any of the songs to be memorable. They didn't have that same catchy feel like the songs on We Love You Tecca did. Overall,
Rumble.
Like an album, and compared to his previous drop,
she won the Royal Rumble.
It must be tough as an 18-year-old to have the pressure of basically dropping another Ransom, or dropping another album with the same amount of hits as We Love You Tecca. But that's the harsh reality of blowing up as an artist. One day people love you, and then next they're trying to tear you down. But even though it seemed like the pressure was getting to Tecca, the following year would get off to a better start. He would drop multiple successful singles, Jet Ski with Lil Mosey, Never Left, Show Me Up, and Repeat It. He would also drop his third album, We Love You Tecca 2, with it really doing the same numbers as Virgo World, or actually slightly worse, selling 30,000 units in its first week and debuting at number 10. Again, not atrocious, but not the same height he had with his debut album.
And that's not bad though. Like, people pitching that like that's like terrible or some shit. That is actually good.
Now, personally,
you're a number 10 seed? That's actually good.
My thought of Tecca was, like, he isn't an artist where I would go play his albums from start to finish, like someone such as, for example, Juice WRLD. I'm just trying to think of artists from that era Tecca came from. However, I knew I can rely on Tecca to drop multiple fire songs, like singles a year, with it basically seeming like Tecca was becoming more of a singles artist slash hitmaker than an album kind of artist, which honestly can be a tough decision to make as an artist. Do you be like Tecca and stick with your sound as you know it works, but at the same time people may get bored and the sound may become stale? Or do you experiment, switch up your sound so you can make a full-fledged album with a range of sounds? Something like what Yeat did, where he completely shifted from the rage sound to that, I don't know, industrial 2093 kind of sound, where you're taking a risk but you may also discover a new audience. I feel like these two guys on Reddit kind of displayed this perfectly. Did not change his flow at all since the last album. Don't fix what's not broken. It's just that it gets repetitive and the replay value is lower since a lot of songs sound similar. So yeah, he is making similar music year after year, but if it's working, why change it?
Right.
But at the same time, if you're listening to his 20-track album, it can get boring. Now, after We Love You Tecca 2, he would actually take a year break, presumably because the album's performance-wise, he was at a decline, so he probably wanted to take a step back and develop something new, which would end up working extremely well for him. So just under 2 years since We Love You Tecca 2, in the July of 2023, he would come back with a bang, dropping the single £500. The song would blow up, debuting at the number 60 position on the Billboard Hot 100 and peaking at the 51st position sometime later. At this point in time, it had probably been 2 or 3 years since Tecca got a top 50 Billboard entry, but it seemed like the wait was worth it, especially after his year break. Tecca took some time away to adjust his approach to music, with £500 acting as one of the lead singles to his album Tech, which would drop in the following months, selling 41,000 units in its first week and debuting at the number 11 position. Overall, very solid numbers, especially in 2023, as over the years with streaming, it's become harder and harder to sell higher numbers, with the album containing some pretty big songs, Heaven on Earth with Kodak Black, Fell in Love with Ken Carson and Down With Me, with Tecca overall leaving great impressions after his break, dropping a very solid album whilst experimenting with some new production. And what I think everyone loved about this album was the fact it was really the same Tecca we have heard before, but also slightly different, in a good way. He switched it up, but not too much. If anything, it's sounding way better with this new polished sound. And he pretty much had to do this. The SoundCloud scene he was once part of was completely dead, meaning that whole sound he came up with was dead. And we were heading into this new underground kind of scene with Opium, Yee and Sofago, which I think Tecca adapted to perfectly. He's incorporating his older 2019 sound with this more modern sound, because on Tech there was production from Benny X, Cliff Shane, AM and Thank You Will. As if we compare him to someone like Trippie Redd, whose sound is still that same kind of pop love sound since like 2018, it's a bit stale. And not only is Tecca evolving his style with new producers, he's tapping in with the new artists. He of course had Ken Carson on his project and has many other SoundCloud songs with him too, even one with Destroy Lonely. He produced Sofago's biggest hit, Knock Knock, and also has some songs with him, Kid Laroi, Rich Amiri.
Yeah.
I also think this is very important to do as an artist. Stay tapped in with a new generation, as it allows you to stay up to date with that style and sound. In 2024, Tecca would have a bit of a quiet year, not really dropping many singles as he usually would, with him dropping Plan A in the September of that year, doing pretty much the exact same numbers as his last project, and receiving solid reviews. As usual, pretty decent and consistent, and funnily enough, he would actually drop on the same day as Future, with a lot of people saying Tecca outdid him. Now I'm going to be honest, this project wasn't anything crazy, and if anything, I just kind of want to skip over it and get to the juicy part of Lil Tecca's comeback heading into 2025. But before we do, I want to show you this. In an interview with Amazon Music, Tecca would reveal he made 500 songs for Plan A, really showing us how dedicated Tecca is to his music, which again I just think shows us why he's managed to keep relevant over such a long time.
Approach it too differently. I kind of just sharpen the skills that I know kind of work for me. Just trusting my intuition when it comes to like beat selection, like melodies, and at the end, like we make 400 songs and we just try to.
You made how many songs?
400. 400 for this album cycle.
And this was across. This was the album. It took a year.
Yeah, this is since I finished Tech. So out of those, we just try to pick the best songs.
How many songs is that a day on average?
Honestly, I don't know.
Is that like
a little bit more than one a day?
Yeah, it's like one and a quarter.
Yeah,
like
something like that. But there's some days where I might.
Watch the latest shows all in one place and get up to 6 accounts per household.
Might record.
I might slow down.
Some days I might record, and then the next day I record 6 songs. So
on the 14th of March, which
clap it up to that nigga. I'm not even gonna hold it. Hey, clap it up to that fucking nigga. That's dedication and work right there, bro. Hey, some of y'all artists need to do it. Drop 400 songs into a year, and the only nigga who really does that shit right now and who got 2 of them bitches, y'all gonna think I'm dick riding. Yeah, boy. All the other artists, I ain't never had no other artists besides Tecca and Youngboy actually drop hella music and I got that shit already lined up. Y'all know that nigga Youngboy got a 4th in July album coming out? A 4th of July, and this nigga going on tour starting in the beginning of, I think, August or September. Make no sense, right?
Many of you'll remember as the day Carter
They love this music shit, bro.
Extremely anticipated music album, pretty much completely breaking the internet for a couple of days.
And Playboy Cardi. Shout out to, Playboy Cardi too, I forgot. Cause he got hella songs too. He got selected. Fucking Gigi already said Baby Boy is already diamond. He's just waiting on the right day to release it.
Prior to the release. But you know who else was dropping on that Friday? Lil Tecca. He had a single titled Dark Thoughts. So with this dropping the same night as music, most people's attention was on the album, but somehow this single would absolutely pop off. The song would debut at the number 45 position on the Billboard Hot 100, eventually climbing to the 32nd position, and surpassing Carti's Evil Jordan and Rather Light in streams, with it supposedly being on track to be his biggest song since Ransom. Now obviously the whole music comparison is a bit skewed as Tecca dropped 1 song versus Carti who dropped 30, but I still think it's impressive that even though he dropped on the same night as such a big album, the song still managed to get its shine and momentum. Now this is obviously a huge moment for Tecca, as having such a big single means he will have way more people paying attention to him, and with him dropping his album Dopamine this Friday, this could potentially be his highest selling album since the original We Love You Tecca back in 2019. Fans on Reddit even started comparing the interaction of likes album announcement posts with Dopamine and Plan A had, with the Dopamine posts having 5x the amount of...
I don't know who was calling me, bro. But that's that bullshit. I'm gonna sit here and let this bitch scream. You know,
likes,
thank you.
Showing that there's way more anticipation for it. So what, Planet A sold 40k? I mean, damn, Dopamine may sell...
Kai Cenat said the fucking song rating was what? That new album, we listened to the new album already. All cameras and shit like that, my niggas. It's an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I'm rating on him to go ahead and drop some more solo single songs to clean up that album. It's an 8 out of 10. All his other albums in peak 10s, but that was an 8 out of 10. That was the first 8 out of 10 for Lil Tecca on my books.
Like 60, realistically.
Kai said that was 6 out of 10. It's 8 out of 10 to me.
Amount would be 50. It sounds about right. Maybe if he has some cool features, he could push 60. I think he's having like Ken Carson on there. I'm not sure who else he could have. Maybe like Don Toliver. And actually, he dropped...
Shit, he might as well put out some on that motherfucker. Like that. Get some underground rappers in that bitch too. Shit, like I don't even know. Work with somebody that, like, I don't know.
A single 2 weeks ago. Owa.
Hey, y'all know I got an album called Underground Need Love. So shit, not this, but it's like that's future wisely for all my underground niggas that's gonna be still underground niggas. I got all the underground niggas just trying to put something in one album. We're gonna do that.
Hype itself, especially as it's the first song released after Dark Thought. There was a lot of anticipation for that. So I'm recording this after the album dropped. I'm recording this new section on Saturday night, a whole day after release. And numbers wise, Dopamine is doing great, but I am seeing some seriously mixed reviews online. Lil Tecca earns the biggest album debut of his career on Spotify with Dopamine, meaning this album outstreams all his other projects on the first day, which is kind of crazy. If he sell more than We Love You Tecca all the way back in 2019, that would be kind of crazy. Like, he outstreamed Lil Wayne on the first day with Carter 6, and Lil Wayne sold like 120k or something.
Alright, well, alright. The only reason why because people don't understand, like, Lil Wayne is trying to get to the most new shit. Like people want that old Wayne and all that shit. His team and his production team fucked
There's
him
no
over.
way Tecca's gonna sell 100k first week. That would be absolutely insane. I mean, he does have 2 very big singles boosting his streams, but I think like 50 or 60k would be more realistic. And going back to the Lil Wayne
That's
thing,
what they call.
I'm pretty sure he had loads of sales because he has pure sales. Like people are actually buying the CDs and vinyls. But yeah, I think Tecca could do 60k. That would be great. And now, even though the album is doing good with its streams, I'm seeing a lot of people say it's just not a very good album, like actually music-wise, or more like I'm seeing split opinions. It's very mixed. Every song on Dopamine with the Buzz Lightyear gif basically saying they all sound the same. After listening, I can safely say he's not saving the summer, with really just a lot of people saying it's boring, which honestly I think sums up the video perfectly. Yeah, sure, Tecca's albums aren't something you'll play on repeat from start to finish, but he does always have songs that are topping the charts. And really in 2025, I said this in my Carti video, does dropping a great album even matter? Majority of these people get their music from TikTok or just whatever is trending.
Right.
As long as Tecca gets some big hits, he's fine. But yeah, from what I'm seeing, Dopamine isn't bad, just not something you're absolutely blown away by. And really, no one expects that from Tecca in the first place. I don't want to sound like I'm repeating myself, but he's just doing his thing. Dropping more hit singles, dropping another album full of great vibes, and staying out the way. Like, I'm seeing people on Reddit here saying, oh, he needs to try something different, expand his range. But seriously, why? Dark Thoughts has 200 million streams in 3 months, but he's supposed to start making something different. This is like telling Nike they should start making microwaves because they've been making sportswear for too long and making too much money. Like, sure. So yeah, I mean, Lil Tecca has done an absolutely great job at reviving his career, because really it was heading downhill after his debut album. People were calling him a one-hit wonder, his numbers were dropping, but he took that 1-year break, came back with Tech, and revived his career. So people may argue he makes the same song over and over again, it's boring, it's repetitive, but I think he mixes it up and...
Hey, but as long as y'all niggas still gonna listen to it, y'all still gonna watch that nigga, y'all still gonna do what y'all do. Y'all still gonna listen to the song, regardless of the fact that y'all hating on this nigga dick. And y'all some hating ass niggas. So like real life, stop hating on the artists. And stop hating on streamers too. Stop hating in general. The fuck y'all got so much hate in your heart? I hate that shit. That shit be pissing me off sometimes, bro. The fuck y'all niggas hating for? On some pussy shit.
Just his sound just enough where he can be consistent but not make it stale. If that
Like,
makes
look,
sense.
I don't mind putting your opinion out there. Yeah, some songs that might not be hit to your ears, and but that's 50-50 with that shit, though. Some people might like fuck with that song.
And music problems, but I don't know. Polo G, Lil TJ, yeah, their careers are at a pretty terrible position. Polo G's last album sold like 20k first week, TJ's sold
that's
like
not bad.
20k first week too.
And that's not even bad.
But all the press and headlines surrounding their name are bad things. So not only does their music suck, but they're also terrible people that no one likes. You know, Tecca stayed out the way, no beefs, no controversies, just straight focus on his music and moving up in the music industry. Like, he pulls off the mysterious aesthetic perfectly. Like, he's not mysterious the same way like Carti was, but he does the perfect mix of like not being on the internet whilst also keeping his fans satisfied. Like, he keeps it pretty much strictly music. And as I said earlier, a lot of artists fail to evolve their style, sound, aesthetic, pretty much everything. They blow up and get content with where they are at, which leads to them getting sidetracked and not focusing on evolving as much, which leads to them being left behind and falling off. Unlike Tecca, who took a break, tapped in with the new artists, producers, polished up his sound and has managed to stay relevant. Like, sure, Tecca isn't selling 100k with his albums every year, but he does have a very strong fan base and does very consistent numbers. So yeah, Tecca isn't an artist you can say got you through hard times and really became a super fan of, simply because I don't think there is too much depth to his music. But can you rely on him to drop a summer banger every year and a solid album? I think so. So hats off to Tecca.
Yeah. So some artists' albums might not hit. And don't say, oh, yeah, but this artist, he got hit bangers after banger. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. Your artists make banger songs. That's what I'm telling y'all niggas, that shit. It doesn't matter how much like songs you could put down, people will still hate on your songs. Like that, as long as you like it and you love how the song sound to you, then that's fine. And it doesn't matter how many views you get the mug, or how many sales you get on that mug. As long as you getting good sales to it in your heart and your soul and your body, and you thinking you doing good in your own opinion, my nigga, then you straight. But that was a little Tecca. I see y'all when I see y'all. Love you to the bottom of my heart, and I'm out.